What's up, everybody? Hey, we're going to get started in just a minute or so, but I'm going to give people another few minutes to hop on. I know we've got about 40 of you on right now, and we're going to make sure that all of our panelists are hosts. And then, how do we get on this Zoom? I don't know. They got to figure it out. So anyway, we are going to kick this thing off in just a few minutes. If you have any questions for the panelists, drop them in the chat box below so we know to ask them. And we're going to bring our sponsors up in just maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to let each of them share what they are, what they're doing, and what they do and what they're doing right now to adjust to what's going on. So anyway, I'm going to invite them each to start their videos in a second. Let's get this thing going. All right. Anyway, we're going to get this thing started in just a second. Let's see. All right, guys, pretend you are at Harry Buffalo, and we'll kick this thing off in just a minute.
What's up, Internet Party people? We are a little stranger here at the gosh dang Sugar Shack Sessions. Got the Thunderstorm VIP room rolling right now. Usually gotta pay a lot extra to get this, but they're throwing us a discount. So let's get weird.
All right, welcome everybody. We're going to kick this thing off in just a minute as we get this set up technically. All right, we have got almost all our panelists up. All right. I have found everybody. They are now on here. So we're going to bring some of our sponsors up in just a second. Appreciate everyone jumping on here. We got 90 of you on here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just go round robin real quickly. If you got something to share, just let us know. Let's talk about what good has come from this so far? So I just want to get a few answers. We'll go around the horn. If you've got something you want to share, just raise your hand, or you could do that physically or virtually, and I will try to call on you. We'll see if this works. But anyone have something to share that has been interesting or silver lining that has come from this so far? Who's got something? Hit the raise hand button. Is that button even there? Now that I think about it, I don't think there is a raise hand button. So we will skip that part and dive right in. So let's just bring up some of our sponsors. As you guys probably know, welcome to Masterclass Orlando. It usually looks like this. And basically, thank you to Harry Buffalo for hosting us most months. If you guys do want to donate to Harry Buffalo, there is a link at masterclassorlando.com where you can donate to their staff or tip them or whatever. But anyway, we are going to bring up our sponsors in just a second. Basically, we put this event on once a month for free for the realtor community. It's put on by Orlando Real Producers and all of our advertising partners. Basically, Orlando Real Producers is a platform that connects the top 500 agents in Central Florida through quarterly events, the monthly educational events, and a monthly magazine. So we've got 65 advertising partners that are basically the best of the best and brightest minds as vendors in Central Florida. They're all referred by top 500 agents. And so if you meet someone that is a service provider in the industry that's in this room or that's at any of our events, you know that they're really legit. So we put this event on once a month. It's free for you guys. We try to bring some of the best and the brightest minds of Central Florida real estate to teach what they're doing in the trenches. And we've got 4 of the best brokers or team leaders in the city right now that we're going to be interviewing in just a second. So I'm going to bring up a few of our sponsors because there are a handful of sponsors that make this event happen every month. And instead of just canceling the event or instead of just going virtual, I want to give them each just a minute or so to introduce themselves, what they do, and then just share what they're doing differently or any hot updates of what's going on right now. So I'm going to bring a bunch of them on, and hopefully this will work out great. And honestly, this is our first time doing it like this, so we'll find out. So let's go to Danielle with David Weekly Homes. Are you there, Danielle?
I am. Hi there. Good morning. Happy to meet everyone virtually. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Danielle, and I'm the Internet Sales Advisor with David Weekly Homes in the Orlando area. I am your guide and will help you connect your client with their ideal community and their dream David Weekly home. We're currently building in several communities across Central Florida, and we have a few that will be coming soon later this year, ranging from the 280s to close to $1 million. Currently, our sales offices are open to private in-person appointments, and I'm happy to arrange them for you, as well as virtual appointments, whichever is more convenient and comfortable for your client. Our on-site sales consultants have gotten quite a few virtual appointments over the past few weeks, so we're well versed. We also have Matterport virtual tours for most of our floor plans that we're currently building in Central Florida that we're ready to share with you and your clients to help them make their buying decision. So looking forward to working with you, and I hope you all have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. So here's some of our sponsors. I'm going to bring another one up real quickly if I can hit the right button. Bear with me for a second, guys. Where do I hit? All right, let's go over to Heather Hurry with the Jeff Mackey team at Pillar to Post.
Good morning, everybody, and it is Thankful Thursday. Thank you so much for having us here once again, Aaron, and hopefully everybody is being safe and productive out there. Just wanted to say hello. We are most definitely coming to you from Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team, and just wanted to say it's Thankful Thursday once again. And we are definitely taking the precautions out there, guys. It is business as usual, but we are definitely in the right apparel from head to toe, from booties to masks to gloves to sanitation, and doing all we can to make the buyers and sellers comfortable while they're in their homes or not in their homes. And I think that that's super important. So just kind of wanted to let everyone know that I think there's a lot of what ifs out there, and we're just making everyone feel comfortable and letting them know that, hey, you don't need to be there. We're here for you. So just wanted to kind of put that out there for everybody that we've got your back. Orlando Real Producers, we've got your back. And we know right now that there's a lot of concern as it relates to vacancies or, you know, anything that's owner occupied and those types of things. So we're really being cautious. Just want to be respectful and mindful of those folks that are in and out of their homes, just to make sure that everyone is okay. And also, just to throw it out there, free roll of toilet paper for this month. So everybody have a great one, and we look forward to being of service to you, and have a wonderful rest of the week.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather. That's
Sure.
with the Jeff Mackey team with Pillar to Post. Let's go to Sabrina with Old Republic Home Protection.
Hi guys, good morning. Sabrina Serrano here with Old Republic Home Protection. I just want to first say thank you for having us on here, Aaron. This is absolutely fantastic. And also to our clients that are still using us, I mean, guys, thank you so much. We are our home warranty company right now that is in full swing. We are still taking calls. We are still doing all of the business that you have asked us to do from previous years on. We've even taken on other projects. Right now, we are utilizing trade call fee coupons for our clients at a higher volume. Obviously, everyone is stuck at home, utilizing their appliances and their systems running on 24/7, especially with AC and stoppages. And we are making sure that our technicians are available with the best type of protective gear in order for them to go into the home to make sure that everyone is safe and that we get through this scary, scary pandemic all at the same time. So if you do need me, I will make sure to leave my contact information at the end. Prices right now really don't matter when we're talking about what's going on right now. What we're really focused on is making sure that people can actually get through this in the most mobile fashion.
Awesome. Thank you, Sabrina with Old Republic Home Protection. Let's see if I can bring up Zach Blesnick with Home First Lending. Tell us about your company and tell us what's going on these days.
Sure. How's everybody doing? This is exciting. Thank you for putting this on. So all is well over here. This has been quite a whirlwind for the last few months, but Home First Lending is positioned extremely well. Most of you guys know that we are celebrating our 15th year in business right here in Central Florida. So we're a Central Florida-based mortgage company, and actually have been a broker and a lender for the last 15 years. So right now we're positioned very well in the fact that we preserved our broker channel. So when all this craziness started happening in the lending industry, we built relationships with over the top 50 investors in the lending field over the last 15 years, which has allowed our company to pivot very quickly and still be able to provide outstanding service and access to products to all of our clients and referral partners. So we still do have lenders who have no overlays as to what credit score or DTI requirements. I will say, because my partner Christian is watching me and he does our operations, he's smiling over there, that we definitely want to proceed with caution in the fact that, of course, some of these lenders that don't have overlays or the lower credit score stuff, they might have increased turn times or higher interest rates. So we just want to make sure that we're taking the right approach and consulting the client on what best options are for them. It's exciting. We do have a 2% grant program and a 3.5% grant program for FHA right now, which is great for some first-time buyers that might have been in fear that they weren't able to get down payment assistance. But of course, access to all the other programs. And we're excited. We're here for you. Definitely check out our reviews. Our team is very fortunate to have built over 1,000 reviews on Zillow and is rated the #1 lender in Orlando. So take a look at what others are saying about us and give me a call or shoot me a message after this. Thanks, Aaron.
Love it. Let's go. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let's go to Jody with Celebration Title Group.
Hey guys, good morning. Thank you so much for having us today. So we are super excited to learn from this amazing panel. Culture for us is everything. Our team is on today. So a couple things going on in the wonderful world of closings and title. So our educational courses, our Celebrate University is virtual. We're doing about 40 classes a month right now and some amazing live panels. So really our goal is just to get some really good information out and be a resource for the community. Everyone's asking about closing options and are closing still happening? The answer is absolutely yes. So we have a lot of options available right now. We're doing remote online notarization, which I know most of you have heard about. We have hybrid curbside closings.
And then we still have our in-office closings with tons and tons of safety precautions. So continuing the celebration, making sure that everyone is staying safe and staying happy, but still able to provide that memorable closing experience that we've always done. So one other thing I want to touch on is we are doing a promotion for all healthcare workers. We want to give back to those people right now. They are the front line, they are the heroes. So if you have anybody in that field that's buying, selling, or refinancing, please reach out to someone on our team. We're happy to help and give back to that community. So we're grateful for all of your support. If you guys have any questions about the closing process, the remote online notarization, and then join us for classes and events. We all have some time right now, maybe to learn something new or sharpen a skill or learn how to do a video. And we'd love to see you all. We're really grateful to be here, and we're grateful for all of your support.
Awesome. Let's go to Kyrie Morris, Kai the insurance guy.
Yo, so happy to see everybody's face. Hope everybody's doing good. Kai the insurance guy, run a health and life insurance firm here in downtown Orlando. Obviously, we've gone everything remote. We've been dealing with a lot of people that are currently getting laid off with everything going on with the economy. So just trying to assist as many people as possible. A lot of premium relief going out. So, even, if anybody runs into that and is wondering, can they get some relief, feel free to reach out, see what we can do to help you out. Other than that, everybody's in our thoughts and prayers, and, we're here and can't wait to get through this whole thing. Good to see everybody's face.
All right. Let's
Amen.
go to Vic DeVore with DeVore Design.
Good morning. Everybody hear me okay? Hopefully. I assume so.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, that's what's important. So DeVore Design, we're still operating. We've got some new COVID-19 protocols in place right now. So we are taking certain safety precautions in the field. We're also doing virtual showings, which is something that the MLS has started to encourage in the last couple of weeks. So we're continuing to do what we can to support all of our customers and support the real estate industry with some new services and new products to help you guys stay virtual as we move forward. We've talked to some pretty powerful agents in the past couple of weeks, and we all kind of think that some of this virtual media that we've been implementing these past few weeks is probably here to stay for a while. So whatever we can do to help you guys with your virtual media needs, we're certainly here. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you, Aaron, for pulling us all together. We've got some great participation today.
This is fun, right? We have 153 people, so this is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Thank you for sponsoring. Let's kick it over to Tammy Birchler with HWA. Tammy, you are muted. Oh, I unmuted you. Unmuted you. Is it working? There you go. Now we should hear you.
Good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tammy Bircher with Home Warranty of America. It is so good to see all of you today, healthy, safe. Hope your families and friends are all healthy and safe. Just wanted to let you guys know that we are up and functioning 100%. We have moved all of our call centers and all of our employees to work remotely right now during all this. And some of the things that we have done for you guys is we have started an emergency line for any claims as far as air conditioning, appliances, because everyone's working from home and all those items are being used profusely right now. Another thing that we are doing for you guys is throughout the month of April, any order that comes in with us, we're going to give all of your clients Green Plus for free. What does that mean? That means your clients get more money for replacement of any of their appliances or their water heater if it cannot be repaired. So we have some good things happening right now. As always, we continue to be 13 months and all of our plans continue to be under that $600 mark. So if you guys need anything at all, you know how to find me, call me, email, text me. I'm here to help you guys, here to work for you and your clients. Thanks, Aaron, so much for doing this for all of us as well.
Thank you. And I just feel like I'm here right now. I feel like we're at Harry Buffalo. So let's kick it over to Mike Lewin. We're almost done with the sponsors, but I want to give them each some time to share what's going on. Let's go to Mike Lewin with Nona Title.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Just wanted to reach out. Everybody's kind of saying the same thing. I've been speaking to a lot of our realtors and a lot of our lenders and stuff, and they're hearing people saying that Title's working with limited staff. We're working, and I don't understand that. We are all here. We're here at the Title office too. Our people, both offices are open. As far as the closings, we're still doing them in-office closings. We're doing all our courtesy mobile closers. We're doing the remote online notarization. The other thing we're doing, which is very important, people are having issues with like how to pick up their checks and do things like that, or they don't want to come pick up their checks. We're doing courtesy wires. We'll wire the DAs, we'll wire directly to the realtors' accounts and stuff like that. So we're doing a lot of things that are just trying to think outside the box to try to make this kind of smooth and effortless in this transition. Again, make sure reach out to us. We are in both offices. We can still handle all your needs as far as that. So Michael Lewin, Nona Title, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's kick it over to the other Mike, Mike Smalley, Waterstone Mortgage. What's going on over in your world, and what are you guys doing differently now?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So I think everybody's focusing on what programs are not available, and I think it's important for people to realize that what's gone is a really small percentage of not just, but probably most mortgage companies' businesses. We're still doing 620, we're still doing bond, we're still doing jumbo, we're still doing renovation, escrow holdback. So the majority of the programs that most lenders, including us, had are still available. I think the biggest issue that we all need to focus on is unemployment. 22 million Americans have filed for unemployment in the last 4 weeks. And the most important thing every one of you can do is make sure that your existing pre-approved buyers and your existing contracts are on track. So every Tuesday, we're doing a webinar from 12 to 1. We had 180 people last week. We had 250 the week before. And we're just talking about the market, what programs are available, what are changing, how to keep your contracts on track, what questions to ask. So I'll post the link to our Zoom webinar in the chat box here. But every Tuesday at noon, if you guys have questions, scenarios, or just want to kind of talk about how to keep things on track, feel free to jump in. We'd love to have you.
Love it. Hey, real quick, I want to say thank you and give a quick shout out to a few of our sponsors that aren't on this call right now. One is the team at Systematic Home Staging, Joseph Sipp and his team. They do a great job. Also, Susie Bruner and her team at Annie Mac Home Mortgage. They're also sponsors of the Masterclass. And I know Octavian Cantilli with Real Estate Imaging Pro is busy finishing up his studio, which would be pretty hot. So you guys should definitely check it out. Usually our check-in sponsor is Heidi Reisel and her husband at the Agent Assist. And then also Selling Shots. So I just want to give them each a quick shout out because they help make Masterclass happen. But let's just kick it off with our panelists. Let's get started and dive right in. We want to talk a little bit about obviously how you create the culture and then maybe what some of you are doing to maintain the culture. But I'm going to introduce our panelists real quickly just to make sure that, let's see if I can even do this easily. All right, let's see. I'm going to introduce our panelists real quick, and then I will bring them up and hopefully be able to put them all on the screen at once so that it looks really cool and neat, but we'll see. So first up, Jose Fleming has been in real estate since 2003. He obtained his broker's license in 2007 when he opened his first real estate company in the downturn of the housing market. And he later sold to a large national franchise. 5 years later, he decided to leave the corporate structure to open a new brokerage that would focus on the agent and provide them with services and technology that ultimately would grow the agent's business and put them in the forefront of their real estate business. Today, PRB, Preferred Real Estate Brokers, is a top 50 brokerage. It employs about 240 agents throughout Central Florida, services Orlando, Claremont, and Lake Nona. What is going on, Jose? How you doing?
Hey everybody, how you doing? Glad to have all you here today. This is pretty cool. It's exciting. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we can discuss some topics here that would benefit everybody in their business today.
Absolutely. We're definitely going to ask you a bunch of questions in just a second. Let's bring up our next panelist. Jenny Weimer is the team leader and the heart of Weimer Group Realty, a 52-member indie brokerage obsessed with culture and serving their customers at the highest level. In 2019, get this, they served over 928, I guess it probably was exactly 928 families, for $272 million. Jenny is married to the broker of Weimer Group Realty and her high school sweetheart, Mike. And together they have two surviving triplets who are seniors in high school, and they are the king and queen of culture, in my opinion. After seeing some of the things they did this week, I definitely have some questions to ask them. But hello, Jenny. How are you doing? Let's unmute you. Let's see if this works. Are you there?
Yep.
Awesome. That worked.
Hello,
all
everyone.
right.
Hey, everybody.
Let's go to our next panelist, Tom Nickley. He's actually the only one on the team that is not the broker at his office. He runs a team. They sold they're on pace to sell 600 homes this year. The team started in 2015, after he had a career selling wine by phone, which I think is pretty amazing. But that's a whole other story, I'm guessing. The team started in 2015. They've grown to 32 members, fully leveraged real estate teams. They have agents, showing assistants, transaction coordinators, listing manager, operations manager, the number one Keller Williams team in Florida in volume and transactions, top 20 in all of Keller Williams in transactions and volume. They're pacing to sell 600 plus homes this year, which is pretty hot. What's up, Tom Nickley?
Hey, Aaron, how's it going? How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here.
Awesome. Glad to have you. And then last but certainly not least, let me find him, is Sean Frank, who's the founder and the CEO of Mainframe Real Estate. When he opened his downtown office in 2012, he did so with a dream of bringing cutting-edge technology to only the best agents in the market. I remember when you had solar-powered paneled signs. That was pretty cool. He did so. I just said that. His company has an expanding technology portfolio, including the continual development of ABE, which maybe he'll talk about in a second, but that's Mainframe's exclusive back-end software that streamlines and simplifies processes for the agents. Mainframe currently has approximately 50 agents. They closed over $200 million in sales last year. Mainframe just opened its first branch office in St. Pete, Florida a few months ago. With a focus on quality agents and experience, Mainframe has established a reputation in one of Central Florida's leading real estate independent brokerages, or really leading companies in general. What's up, Sean?
Hey guys, we're excited to be here and collaborate with the other panelists.
Thanks for joining us. Let's just since I already have you up, I'm just going to start with you, Sean. What I'd like to do is quickly, everyone, if I pretty much in your bios gave a quick snapshot, but if you could give us a quick snapshot of your organization, how many people and what types of roles, but then tell us about how you would describe the culture in your organization and what are some of the things you've done to steer the ship and actually create that culture. So tell us about, what does your office look like? How would you define the culture, and how did you even go about setting
motion
the culture you wanted to create?
Those are a lot of loaded questions all back to back. So
that's true. You're going to have to remember all three of them too.
So, you know, a culture is really built like brick by brick, person by person. Every time you add a new person, you're changing the dynamic. So it really started when I opened the office. It was just a handful of people, and, you know, and it's just it, but with that, it always starts with relationships and people genuinely caring about each other. I feel like leadership only sets an example. We have no direct influence on how the agents collaborate and work with each other. I would definitely say we have a very collaborative, really genuine, authentic culture in our office. Our agents, because we only have about 50 agents and they're pretty much all producing, we don't have a lot of turnaround. We don't have like a lot of agents coming and going. So they actually have an opportunity to build those relationships with each other and get to know each other and not have to worry about if somebody's leaving or, you know, what that might look like. So definitely, I would say that even though the leadership influences it, and our managing broker, John Russell, is huge for keeping engaged with the agents and keeping, you know, that sense of morale. But a lot of it is out of our control because it's what the agents are doing when we're not there. You know, it's the way that they're helping each other out during this crisis, or just sharing ideas, contacts, all those kinds of things. I mean, they realize that, and I think one of the most important things is having a two-way street where, you know, when you're going to give information or advice or help, that you're going to get in return. And I think that that's really important part of having a strong culture as well.
Awesome.
So I don't know if I answered all your questions.
Love it. Let's go to Jenny. Jenny, what's your organization look like, and how would you describe the culture, and what steps did you take to implement that culture?
Well, we, like you said, we have a team of 52, but we operate only in a team model. So we are very dependent on each other in what we're doing. And every conversation we have, every action we have out in the community represents our brand, right? So we've got to make sure we're hiring smart and hiring within, with people with similar values and belief systems that we have. And, just like Sean just said, I loved how he compared it, building a brick by brick. I think that is exactly how we've come to today, where, that first hire, I hired somebody that was a mirror image of me, that I felt like, you know, when I was giving my clients over to them, they were going to be working with somebody better than me, and with the same servant heart. And then when we hired that next person, we looked for that. We didn't know enough to set out a big culture and standards and, you know, how we were going to live and walk and talk back then. It's developed over time with every hire, with every relationship and personality on the team. And longevity helps, just like Sean said. You know, so many of our agents have been with us for so long that we've created the culture together, but now we can define it, and it's easier to bring somebody in, get them up to speed, because we can tell them what our standards are, what we celebrate, what's important, and how that will immediately impact their business and be a value to them. So it's definitely been built over time with people, and you know, and with the people that we're with, you know, and their personalities and what they bring to the table. And then, but ultimately, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. How would you describe your culture, though?
Servant heart. You know, our client is always first, no matter what seat you're sitting in on the team. The client's needs are always first, and we'll always go the extra mile. But we model that from the top down. That's how we treat our agents. Our agents are our clients. And because we treat our agents like that and our staff, then they treat our clients with that same level of, you know, compassion and care and, you know, grace.
Love it. Thank you. Let's go to Tom. Tom, one of the reasons I'm really excited to have you on this panel is your team has a lot of fun. And you're the one person, obviously Jenny's running a traditional team with a brokerage. You're running just a traditional team at a brokerage. But tell me a little bit about how you've created such a culture of not only having fun and having a good time, but like actually producing at a really high level consistently, because you guys right out the gates, we've talked about this before, you basically right out the gates started telling everyone that you were going to build the best team or one of the best teams and recruiting people when you were brand new to it. So tell me a little bit about how you've created that winning culture, that culture of fun, but also being really productive.
Sure. And, you know, a lot of the things, obviously, I think that you'll see it with all of us, a lot of the things that we've done kind of parallel what Sean and Jenny said. I think that's why we all have created a good culture. But, you know, for us, I will say that we were very, 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 very clear early on, even before we started the team. You know, I got into real estate with the intention of starting a team. I was very, very clear that that's what I wanted to do. So, you know, I sold homes for my first year, but it was always the intention to not sell homes and to create a team. So when I got into real estate, I was really, really, really clear about what it is that we wanted to create. And it's funny that you made it up, but we laugh about it all the time. But I remember walking in the office when I first started, and I knew nothing about real estate. And I was walking around telling everybody, we're going to start this great team, and we're going to be world class, and we're going to sell these homes, and we're going to have so much fun, and we're going to be prospecting based. And everybody had to think I was crazy because I knew zero about real estate. But I say all that because we were really, really, really clear about what we wanted to create from the team perspective. And you've got it right, man. Fun was really at the core of that and the backbone of that. But everything else, you know, fun was at the foundation, but everything else was kind of an offshoot of that or was dependent on that. So I'll be honest, I took a lot of that from my previous career when I was in the wine industry. I spent a lot of years in leadership there and building teams, and we had a fun environment. And it was an environment where everybody was in the office together, and we played music, and we made phone calls, and we were truly a family, and we hung out inside of the office and outside of the office. So that fun was the foundation of what we wanted to do. But on top of that, you know, we really got clear about the core values that we wanted to stand for and the people that we wanted to hire, because we realized if we could create kind of these expectations through the core values, what we stand for, then it would be really easy to identify the people that we're looking for. But again, like Sean and Jenny said, Even though we've only been around since 2015, we have made sure to hire very slow and to make sure that it's piece by piece, it's brick by brick. And we've made sure that we've put the right people on the bus, and that's allowed us to grow. So for us, it was, building a team that, and honestly, from the beginning, our team was built to do all of the things that a lot of other agents and a lot of other realtors have a bad reputation for or don't do at the highest level. So we wanted everybody to be full-time. We wanted everybody to come in and work in the office together each and every day. We realized that that's how we can create a fun environment. We wanted to be a prospecting-based team where we made calls. So we had to be in the office and we had to have call blocks every day. We built a team that was really from day one built on accountability, built on teamwork, built on positivity, and these were what our core values were. So our core values revolve around those things. So we got really, really clear about those things up front, and we just made sure that we hired people that wanted to be full-time agents, that weren't afraid to make phone calls, that wanted to come in the office every day, that wanted to have fun, that were interested in creating a world-class experience for every client, that could be held accountable. So we got really clear about that up front, and we just haven't wavered from that ever at all, not for a day. It's just been compound. I remember the first time Jenny and I met, she told me, she's like, the first X amount of transactions or the first X amount of years are hard, but then you reach a point where it gets really easy because your culture is so defined and you can plug people into it. And it couldn't be truer. When you stay really clear on your culture and your people, you really, it becomes easy because you permeate that. Everybody on the team, radiates that energy and that culture.
Love it. I love it. Let's go around the horn. And actually, since you brought it up, I want to hear how you would define like what you determined your culture was. I know a couple of you hit on this, but I'll go to you, Jenny. How would you said servant heart, but the better way of asking this is, how do you know when someone fits the culture, and how do you know what are the indicators when they don't fit the culture? That's probably a better way of asking this. So how do you know when someone fits it? How do you know when they do not fit it? Let's go to you, Jenny.
I don't know. Don't you just know? Do I like you? Do you have good energy? We've learned over time personality profiles that work in the right seats, but ultimately, what we're looking for is somebody who's an achiever, who has evidence of success, that and evidence of a servant heart, like truly caring for others. Because the rest, real estate I can teach, the rest I can teach, but I can't teach that servant heart. And, really that's what it takes, because in real estate, we're helping people with the biggest transaction in their life. They're not doing it for fun. There's an emotional reason behind what they're trying to accomplish. And if somebody is in it for themselves and in it for the money, and that's what drives them, they're not going to connect and be able to help those people successfully, but also in the brand and within the culture that we want to help people. So by hiring that servant heart, finding that person who cares for others, real estate's easy to teach. It's a lot of it is, just instinct too. Do we like each other? Is our energy match? Do they see the value in what we have to offer? Not everybody is a match. It's probably too simple of an answer, but I did put up in the chat here our WeMate core values that we have identified over time. And this is what we strive to be every day. And I say strive because we're never perfect. We all don't have perfect days, and we live in grace, but we strive to be masters of our crafts. We believe what sets us apart is our level of experience and knowledge, and always be learning. We're accountable for our actions. We're willing to say we messed up. We will do what's right all the time no matter, and we will always err on the side of the client, or we will always err on the side of the agent. We have teachable spirits. We're open to feedback and learning. We elevate each others. We really try to bring each other up with positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement. We're not cracking whips and ringing bells. We tend to talk a lot about successes and what worked and why it worked. And then we're solution based. We use each other collectively and collaboratively to find solutions to help our clients, because it really comes down to selling houses for people. And if you do a good job with that, you get future business from those people. And that is just, the foundation of the business, and it always has to be. And you have to figure out, what does it take to build that?
Love it. Let's go to you, Sean. How do you know how did you define what fits your culture? I mean, obviously it's a little different when it's a brokerage because you don't have to work with them in the same capacity daily. How do you define what fits and what doesn't fit? And how do you know when someone is or isn't a good fit? What are the things you look for?
Well, one of the things just to add is that, I love and respect Jenny so much. And it's so interesting that every time we talk, we just have realized how completely opposite our business models are. Like, and with the more of a team structure like her or Tom, the agents have to collaborate and work together way more than at a traditional brokerage. At my office, most of the agents don't do deals together. They're not passing, the baton to another person in the transaction a lot of the time. So they don't need the same kind of ongoing day-to-day type of relationships. For the agents in my office, it's much more like, hey, when we get together, are we having fun? Do we have similar interests? Do we, just like Jenny said, like, do we have good energy? Do we have a good vibe? And when it comes to deciding if an agent's going to be a good fit for mainframe, like, because we have if we had hundreds of agents, and you can throw one in the mix and they're not going to affect things too much. But if you have 50 agents and you put a bad apple in there, you could feel the negative impacts of it really, really quickly. So just like Jenny said, a lot of it, you have to go with your gut. You have to say, like, is this person likable? And a lot of times, because we hire agents that have been in the business for a while, we already know what their reputation is to some degree, or we know if our agents like them. And so that makes it a little bit easier to already know off the bat. With like a team model, a lot of times you're hiring people that are brand new to the industry, nobody knows them. So it's a little bit more of unknown factors than if you're hiring an agent that's been established in the market for 10 years. But honestly, a lot of it is like, do we like each other? Or is it a good fit both ways? And a lot of it does come down to culture. I mean, I've had so many people tell me, like, people love our services, our technology, our marketing, brand, all of that. But they're like, but if it wasn't for you and John, it wouldn't even be the same thing that it is now. So I think a lot of it is knowing that people also feel that they have confidence, that they can trust the leadership that they're working for. And so much of it starts with that kind of certainty that they're valued, that they're cared for as individuals. And then after that, honestly, the agents they're responsible for the culture more than anything else, because they're the ones that are doing it offline. They're the ones that are, going out to dinner together or hanging out or just messaging or sharing ideas, masterminding. And a lot of that stuff happens without anybody at mainframe, management level knowing about it. So, but definitely so much of it is just gut instinct, when you realize, like, is this person going to complement what we have going on, or are they going to push against it? And the sad thing, or the hard thing sometimes, that no matter how much production that agent does, no matter what, if they're going to upset the culture, it's not a good move. It could start taking down things that have been established for years, and agents that have been happy and loving it for a long time could change their opinion really quick because you let the wrong person in the door, and they don't understand not even why it was allowed, but it kind of, when agents are really involved in their company, they're proud of it and they're protective of it. So if they feel like they have a really good family case scenario going on, and then you bring somebody in that is so obviously rubs everybody the wrong way, they will take it personally because they are part of the culture and they take ownership on it, and they want to see good people come in and get involved too. So we do kind of lean on our agents that are at the company sometimes too, to make sure that we know that the people coming in are going to be well liked and be a good match. But the last thing I have to say too is that usually the person that is being interviewed, or they're really interviewing us, they also get a vibe of the culture. You know, they get a vibe of the leadership and the smiles when you walked in the office and all that kind of stuff too. So so it's really a two-way street. I think it's a mutual attraction almost every single time. And if it's not a good vibe, like somebody bounces in the other direction, and it's just natural that it happens that way.
Got it. Love it. Let's go to you, Jose. How do you know when it's not a good fit, and what are the traits that you look for when it comes to matching PRB? Obviously it's a little different for you because you have to find people that can match the office culture, but they don't have to work together every single day.
Yeah.
How do you steer the ship of what PRB is becoming through the culture of who you bring on?
Yeah, it could definitely be tough. Our growth in the last 4 years to so many agents is really indicative of, we don't go the traditional recruiting route. So a lot of the agents that we currently have with Preferred have been brought on by our current agents, and it kind of just grows within. And that kind of goes to show a lot for the agents that work here. They like the work environment. They like what the staff is able to provide for them. And then they also want to bring other people in and spread the word about our brand and let people know what great of a place it is to work. And it really comes down from the leadership. So, it trickles down from me into the staff that we hire to service the agents. And, like Jenny said earlier, we work for the agents. The agents employ us, the agents hire us. So our main priority is to keep the agent happy. And if the agent is happy, they're satisfied, they have access to the broker, they have access to staff, their questions are answered, they're paid on time, then in turn, they're gonna have less stress and less to worry about when they go back and work with their buyers and sellers, and then they can give them the best service possible. So as long as everyone is kept in an environment that's rich, where, I make it a point to know the agents. I know their names, I know their families, I know their children, I know what transactions they're working on. And when you kind of have that personal relationship with them, and we even go as far as every month, if we have agents that are that have a birthday in that month, we'll go out to Top Golf, or we'll have a bowling event, so just to kind of get everybody together and just kind of cross-pollinate the agents. Some agents haven't met other agents depending on which office they're in. So this is a great opportunity for us to kind of mix people together. And of course they have something in common. Their birthdays are in the same month, and we try to have regular events with the agents. We do potlucks, we do a company picnic every summer. We do a company picnic, which they really appreciate. And at the end of the day, we just try to create a family atmosphere. And anywhere you go, or any agent that you meet, you pretty much can tell their personality or their type of personality. It kind of matches the person that brought them into the brokerage or the broker that they work with. That's what I always say. Anytime that you go somewhere, if you meet with the recruiting person or the broker, whoever it is that you're interviewing with or makes the hire, you can pretty much determine that the rest of the people there and the other agents and staff share the same personality. They're very, it's very cohesive in the way and what you come to expect when you look at the staff, when you look at the broker. You can kind of almost immediately know what you're getting into and what kind of people work within the brokerage as far as agents are concerned.
Love it. I'm going to take a question from the audience. By the way, if you're watching this right now, we would love it if you would just show some love on social media, snap a picture of this, tag us, check in, let people know that you're on this Zoom call. Let us know what you think, and make sure that you're dropping your questions below so we know what to ask the panelists, because I got a lot of questions in my head, but I want to ask the questions that are in your heads. So let's see. Let's ask, this one comes from my buddy Elias. What got you out of the fear of letting go of control and building a team in a brokerage? So let's tweak that slightly. What got you out of the fear of not having to control and have the culture all match what was in your head? Like, meaning, what let you out of the fear of building a team and letting the team, have control of where things go? I'll go back to you, Jose, since you're on spotlight. What let you out of the fear of like letting go of control and letting the thing you've created have a life of its own?
This is kind of tough for a lot of business owners, where they have to relinquish authority and relinquish or delegate, essentially. it's all about making key hires. So like my COO, Jennifer, or, you know, any of people that we have in the staff, we want to make sure that our visions align and that we're on the same page and that we have the same consideration for our agents. And we realize, you know, what our values are. And as long as you can surround yourself with the people that kind of think the same way that you think, then you could sleep at night knowing that if you're gone or you're away for a couple of weeks, that everything will continue to run smoothly and run in motion as you would want it, because you've aligned yourself with the right people that'll continue to run your business day to day. So this is a huge part of it. I can't run the business and I couldn't continue to grow it and I couldn't service the agent without having key players in place that kind of share my same vision, my same values, and they kind of think, you know, before I make a decision on how to deal with an agent or how to handle the situation, you know, what would Jose do in a situation like this? So having people around you that know you very well is really crucial to running a business day to day. And as long as you guys are on the same page and you're thinking the same way and you're on the same vibe, you could kind of relinquish some of that control to them, and you know that the agents and the business are in good hands on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm hearing you right. It's trusting that you're making the right decisions for the right fits. Let's thank you. Let's switch it over to Tom. He's been quiet for a while. Tom, how do you get over the fear of relinquishing control of the culture moving out from just being in your hands?
Sure, and I'll agree with Jose, and I'm sure Jenny and Sean would say the same thing. It's a tough thing, right? It's for me. I've learned so much about myself over the last 5 years in real estate, because I mean, I'm the kind of person that I'm very, very, very impatient, and I feel like that I can do everything as best as it possibly can be done. I feel like I can write a contract better, and I can run a transaction from contracting. Like, I just feel like if it's not that I feel like I could do it better, I feel like I could do it quicker and more efficiently, right? So, but for me, the turning point is really not being afraid to hire people that are better than you, like really looking for people that are better than you in different arenas, right? And not being afraid to put those people in important decisions, right? So for me, at the beginning, it was finding salespeople, finding agents, finding people that could sell homes and could, manage clients and work with clients on a higher level. But not being afraid to hire and align yourself with people that are better than you. And also just making sure that those people align with the same values, right? It comes back to the values of making sure that those people have the same vision, that they have the same, the same idea of what it is that we're building. And ultimately, for me personally, it was that I wanted to build an environment where every single person on this team felt better because they were a member of this team than they could ever feel alone, right? That they feel empowered, that they feel strong, that they feel like they don't need to be on the team to be successful, but they feel like that they're stronger and better as a part of the culture that we have here. So, but then it comes down to just making sure that, again, we and it's happened organically. And I'm sure everybody will say the same thing, but one of the most important roles on our team is our Chief Happiness Officer. And you said at the beginning that our team is based on fun, and we do have a lot of fun. And Jennifer, our Chief Happiness Officer, her job is to create fun for agents, to create fun for our clients. She's in charge of client events and our raving fans and all the contests we do here. She started on the team as an agent, and we thought she was going to be great as an agent, and that crashed and burned after about a month. But I realized from this person that, man, she has everything that I could ever want. I mean, she has the best attitude ever. She cares more about people. She's got a servant heart. She's got a great work ethic. So we kind of organically created a role. I never had an idea that we would have a Chief Happiness Officer. But when I looked at this woman that obviously wasn't in the right seat on the bus as an agent, it I started thinking, and what other ways can she help this team grow? And she's been a catalyst to where we're at. So I think it's, finding people and making sure they align with the things that are important to you and that you stand for, and people that are better. I mean, she's, from our operations department to our sales manager, our sales manager can train our agents and teach our agents and coach our agents and hold them accountable better than I ever could. Our chief happiness officer can do the things that she can do better than I could ever imagine. Our operations manager, our TC. So I think it's just not being afraid to align yourself with people that are better than you, and to just let go of those things and have faith that the people you put in place.
Love it.
Good thing.
Hey, can anyone here tell that Tom has a background as a sales manager? If you can, just drop a yes in the comments, because I can tell you, I would have loved to have learned sales from someone like you with the energy and the culture that you bring to the office. I remember, I'll share something with you guys. It's a little nugget that I learned when I was a sales manager. One of the top sales managers in Cutco once spoke at a conference, and he said something that really seemed to define the environment that I grew up in and was trained in. And he said that as a leader, you want to create an environment that's hostile towards complacency. And for me, that was really important, because having a great sales leader who was always nudging you to do more, to be more, to create more, to take action, to stay in motion, like you guys, like make a ton of phone calls, you're prospecting based, you're pushing and motivating them to continue, keeping their foot on the gas. And I think that makes a huge difference as a leader of a team. But so I just wanted to share that little nugget to create an environment that's hostile towards complacency. It's one of my favorite leadership nuggets. Jenny, let's go to you. I forget what the question was. I forget what the question was. I just lost you. Sorry. Let's pull you up. All right. Question was, how do you know when something's not, what was the question? I forgot, guys. Sorry.
About letting go.
Oh, that's right. Letting go of, how do you let go of trying to control the culture?
I don't. That's the one thing I held on to, actually. So I do like a little bit of control, but I do think that the one thing that is, you could probably say about Weimer Group in our brand and our reputation is that we have a good reputation and brand because we don't let go of those reins of culture. And I'm been able to let go of all of the other pieces. We have phenomenal leaders, all of what Tom just said, and I don't need to repeat that, but we still are very, very involved. We show up, we model the behaviors, we're available, we empower our leaders, we empower our agents. Love that word. Tom used it too. And I loved when Tom said, that people, they want to work for their team. And there's nothing that feels better than someone being proud to work with their group. But we look for opportunities to celebrate that too. This is something we focus on a daily basis. Culture doesn't happen and then just, you can let go and it just lives, right? It can shift quickly. It's very fickle. And, like a time like this, we've had to really ramp up and make sure that we're, continuing our messaging of culture. We're connecting, we're going in overdrive to protect it because, it can shift so quickly. We don't, if you build good systems and the systems will hold people accountable. For us, our whole business is built on trust. If people are not doing their part, the next person can't do theirs. And so if we don't have trust and integrity on our team, our whole model implodes. So it's something we can't take our eye off. We have to take the reins and not let go of that. Now, I share those reins with, our leadership and our agents have those reins too, because they have to hold each other accountable because they are relying on each other. But if you can build systems, you can hold the systems accountable and you don't necessarily have to, constantly have to be redirecting people because it shows up. I don't need to, ask people what they're doing and how many people they're calling. And, all of our agents are productive and relying on each other.
Love it. All right. I want to show something that the Weimer Group is doing in just a second. But Sean, I'm going over to you to answer this question. How do you relinquish control of the culture and where the team's going?
So, I mean, I would agree generally with what everybody said. I think the biggest potential shift of culture we had was when John started becoming managing broker. It was something where when he was still an agent at the company but had desires to be the broker, I was like, hey, I'm going to my first vacation since I opened this office. I'm going to be in Europe for 2.5 weeks. Have fun running the office, right? It was a way to warm the agents up to him as a potential new leader with the company. And it was a process that we did for about a year, because you can't just, people were talking to me all the time. I was answering their questions, and then you can't just replace the person that the agents love and respect and are used to talking to with somebody else overnight. So that was an amazing change that happened gradually. I think that culture, it's one of those things, if you realized it was messed up one day and you needed to fix it, guess what? There's not one thing that you can do today that's going to go fix the culture, because it's emotions and thoughts people have had for a long time up to that point. So, but when John took over as managing broker, and our office admin, Ryan, they're more thoughtful and considerate and passionate and concerned than I'm literally too analytical compared to them. I want to focus on the technology and the marketing, and I have better people working with and coordinating with the agents than I could ever do. So now that I get to watch it unfold and I see, wow, they're doing way better than I could ever do in that capacity in terms of maintaining culture and all of that. It's easy to let go. I'm like, please take it, because you guys are amazing. You guys are so patient and considerate and thoughtful, and they're reaching out and asking I saw you did this on social media last week, tell me all about it, and I'm already thinking about next week. So it's amazing that you can have people that can do things way better than you ever could, and you just have to let them run with it. But it's just a matter of knowing that they're the right people in the right seat, like Thomas saying. You have to make sure that they're going to be an extension of you in some form.
Love it. So I'm getting one question a lot more than any others that I'm about to ask you guys, but I want to show this really quickly, because the question, I'll just tell you what it is. The question is about what you're doing to maintain culture right now, what you've been doing to maintain culture through obviously an unprecedented time. So, but really quickly, I want to show you guys, let's see if this will work the way I expect it to. I'm going to show you a quick video of what Weimer Group is doing. I stole this from Facebook, but let's see if this works right now. Can you guys see that?
The dog started barking, so he started running.
All right. So let's see. How do I fix this? So Jenny, can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing in that video, or what you're doing to keep your team excited and keep morale up in such an interesting time?
We're just trying to be, just creative, but we're just trying to find touches for our team, but also for our clients, and just making sure that they know they're thought of, and helping them still feel connected. We all feel so disconnected right now in our homes, and we're all over the Zoom thing, so we were just trying to think of some fun way to have our agents feel like we've thought of them, but also that doubled as a client touch, because that sign, "This too shall pass," just like a kidney stone, was just to make them laugh and smile. But on the back, we wrote a note, and then there was directions where you pass the sign to another neighbor, write a message of cheer, and then the idea is that sign continues to pass through a community or through friendship groups. And it was just to bring people a smile to their face. But we had a great time as a leadership group delivering 52 of those within 2 hours. So My husband and I just made a game of it where we were taking videos and you know, pretending we were secret agents, but we got caught 80% of the time. We weren't very stealthy, that's for sure. So, but we just it was like a jailbreak, you know, for a reason to get out, and it was fun. We had a good time. But just little things like that to connect. You know, we're not the team that does a happy hour every week, just because we are, you know, coming from all over the city. It's hard for us to get together. We have a lot of families, you know, people with young kids. We're not that
Olympics, things like that, right?
What's that?
You do the WeMert Olympics and things like that, though.
We schedule out our culture at the beginning of the year. We have 2 big events, which is like, you know, we call it We Games or whatever that may be that year. But it's a day retreat. We have a gala that we bring our spouses into. And, you know, we have periodic happy hours and things that people engage in. But for the most part, we're not that happy hour team. Some cultures are. Like, I think Tom's team, they like to, you know, like go out and party together. And that's so awesome. It's just hard for us to do that without bringing everybody in. But while we're confined right now, we're actually having like Zoom happy hours and stuff, just because we feel like we need to be connected. And it's just very on purpose touches.
Love it. Let's go to you, Jose. What are you doing right now to maintain culture through this unprecedented time?
You know, we're taking advantage of this Zoom because that's really the only way that we can have face-to-face with a lot of the agents in our office. So we are setting like, we're doing virtual online trainings, of course. What we're doing is we're doing virtual happy hours like Jenny had mentioned. We're doing a virtual movie night. So at the end of the week, I'm gonna do Tiger King, where we stream it on Zoom and everybody could kind of say their 2 cents or type their comments on the side. You know, virtual online poker through Zoom. It's just a way to kind of get connected with the agents and not totally be inundated with all that's going on around us and constantly be talking about real estate, so on and so forth. So it's just a way for them to just clear their mind and enjoy one another and still have that connection through technology. So this is just a good way right now through what's going on, just to kind of keep in touch with people that still want to participate and be involved. And just me picking up the phone and just randomly calling agents just to check on them, see how they're doing, and just let them know that I'm thinking about them. That's really big too.
Love it. Tom, whoops, I just withdrew your permissions instead of making you spotlighted. Tom, tell me about what you're doing to keep people motivated and excited and morale up during this time.
Perfect. So, and you know, Aaron, this was a big one for us. You know, the shift during this time, because I'd say 90% of everything that our team does is really based on us being in the office and being a family, and the accountability. And, you know, we do call blocks 5 days a week where everybody prospects together. And at the beginning of those call blocks, we do role play, and we do a sales meeting every single week where everybody's there. We do training. So that's really what's allowed us to grow our culture, is having everybody here and the fact that everybody loves, you know, being here. So the whole shift to not being here was a critical one for us. So essentially, we've taken everything that we do here in the office, and we've tried to replicate it virtually. So we do our sales meeting on Monday morning virtually. So we've got 30 people on the sales call, and we always start our sales call, or we always start our sales meeting with everybody going around the table saying 5 positives that are going on in their life. And that's one of our team's favorite things. So we're still doing that on Monday mornings. We're just doing it on Zoom, so everybody's getting that piece, and we're still doing the hour and a half meeting every Monday. We do our call blocks actually 5 days a week. We just do them virtually. We do them on Zoom, where everybody, so that way everybody's, you know, the piece to doing our call blocks and our prospecting together is the accountability piece, right? We're all doing it together. So doing it on Zoom, you know, we've had 15 to 20 people show up every day. And while we're on Zoom, we also use Slack to communicate as a team. So it's pretty fun because everybody's prospecting together, but they're communicating through Slack and kind of joking back and forth. And We're still doing our role play at the beginning of that. So everybody partners up on the role play, on Slack prior to call block. So, that hasn't skipped a beat. Something pretty cool about that, though, is 3 days a week we do our call blocks in the morning from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And it's pretty awesome. And it really shows the culture because our call block ended at 12 yesterday. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that Zoom conference call from the call block in the morning was still going on. And we had 8 people that were still on it, just literally worked. They worked the rest of the afternoon and they just stayed there and they're talking back and forth. And it's almost like they're replicating the energy in the office. So, we had a group of people that were on a Zoom call from 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday until 5 o'clock in the afternoon by choice, at least for half of that. We're doing our trainings virtually through Zoom. We are doing a virtual happy hour tomorrow night. Another big piece of our culture is not only the great experience for the agents, but it's an equally great experience for clients. So we're big on client events and giveaways and raving fans, and we had 8 events and VIP and giveaways planned for our clients this year. And because of this whole thing, we don't know if any of that's going to happen. So, we put together a fun thing for our top 100 clients. Anybody that's ever referred business to us that's become a client or done, multiple deals with us. That's our VIP group. So we put together like a quarantine relief package for them, and they have different options of things that they can do, like a game night relief package, a date night relief package where it's like wine and steaks and stuff like that, or a take me to the beach relief package where it's umbrellas for the beach and beach chairs and beach towels, and it's giving us an opportunity to market to those past clients, stay in front of them, come from a place of contribution, try to kind of make light and make the whole quarantine situation fun. And it's also giving our agents and our team a really, really, really great opportunity to stay in conversation and stay in contribution with clients that, who knows, it's the end for us to have that conversation. We don't know what's going on in their life. So, that quarantine relief package is really kind of a prop to get us into that conversation and really just take care of those clients that have shown us loyalty.
By the way, if anyone watching this needs a quarantine relief package or something like it, you need some umbrellas or you need something else with your logo on it, maybe some swag to drop off at your clients, you guys know who to call. Hit me up. Sean, what are you doing right now? Maintain culture.
A lot of the things everybody else described, we always had our office meetings live stream and people still, if they could prefer to come in person, and the live stream option was never fully utilized like it could have been. And now that's the only option. So it's amazing to see how much more attendance we get virtually than we ever got physically. But as soon as all this stuff happened, we scheduled a mastermind every Tuesday morning. We have a happy hour every Thursday at 5. So we have those recurring things that we would have never got enough attendance on a weekly basis before. And we're getting, we had half the office show up for a mastermind 2 days ago, which is really impressive. So
we got 156 people on right now, and there's usually only 156 people at Masterclass.
Well, and the thing that's really great about the way that it's shifted culture a little bit, we're getting higher attendance virtually, but I also feel like doing meetings and collaborations in Zoom, it levels the playing field where nobody's standing up in front of in the room talking, or nobody is afraid to raise their hand or be the first to speak because nobody can see what everybody else is doing so clearly. So it's really made a lot more collaboration in our office. People are way more likely to chime in, give an opinion, share a story. And so that's been a really interesting effect of going virtually, as I feel like people have actually been more receptive and more willing to speak than they would in a physical group of people. So that part's been really good, but it's also in a lot of ways it's brought our office together. Our happy hours are a lot of fun. I mean, the backgrounds people are putting up for their Zoom, or they're dressing in outfits and wearing silly hats and wigs and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it keeps it fun and interesting while it could otherwise just be a drag doing a Zoom happy hour. We're trying to find ways to make it a little more fun than that.
I want to go around now real quick. And first, I want to hear your answers from the panelists. And then I want to do something a little bit more fun, which is to go to those of you that are still on this call. There's 155 of you. After the panelists answer, I'm going to hit a button. You're going to be whisked away magically to a breakout room with 3 to 5 other people to answer with your best question. We'll go around the horn. You'll all get to meet each other and actually answer your own questions so we don't feel so isolated. But here's the question I want to ask our panelists first, and then I'm going to break you guys all up to talk about it. The question... Sorry, this keeps popping up. The question is, what's the biggest or best leadership lesson you've learned from running and managing your team? What's the biggest or most important leadership lesson? Like, we'd love to get some kind of insight, some lesson you learned, maybe the hard way, or maybe something that's not so obvious that maybe people out there that are looking to build their own teams or starting to build their teams may not be thinking of. What is just one leadership lesson or insight that you've learned? I'll give everyone just a minute to think that one through. And then I'm going to just go around the horn and let you answer. And everyone watching this call should actually think that one through, because in a few seconds after every one of these people answer, I'm going to try this breakout thing. Why not? I'm going to hit this button. We're going to whisk you away into rooms. You do have to hit join. It'll pop up on your screen, but that way everyone will get to speak for about a minute or two. Just don't hog all the time, and we'll go around the horn. But first, I want to hear from the 4 of you. So Sean, I still got you up. So you look stumped though. Should I go to someone else?
I'm okay. I think that's a really hard question. I mean, there's a lot of,
Yeah, give me some leadership insight. What's something you've learned from running mainframe that other people may not know?
Well, I mean, I would think if I could think of one of the most beneficial things that's ever happened, it was partnering with John Russell. And because nothing's more important than somebody being able to debate you when they think you're wrong or that you have an opposing view. Because if you're a leader of a company and you can make all your decisions 100% without asking for approval or opinions, you can make a lot of mistakes. I think one of the most important things is having that devil's advocate. So finding John and allowing him to tell me exactly what he's thinking all the time is really one of the best things that's ever happened, because I would have moved forward and done a lot of things very differently if it wasn't for somebody opposing me, even just for the sake of opposing me, So really embracing an opposing view is probably one of the most important things I've ever done. You really have to try to look at everything from all angles in order to be a well-rounded leader.
Love it. So you brought in a partner who was very different and had opposing views, and that's been one of the best leadership lessons. Let's go to you, Jenny. What's one leadership insight that people might not know that you've learned from running your organization?
I think that you have to meet people where they are. That not everyone wants the same things. Not everybody has the same capacity to accomplish the goals. And it's okay for people to have different goals as long as as long as we are in control of the opportunity and the leads that we're giving or so on. It's okay if I have an agent that sells 2 a month versus an agent that sells 10 a month. If we've committed to them and invited them into our world, then we are going to do whatever it takes to help them accomplish their goals. And the key word there is their goals. Over 16 years, I've learned that I can't make somebody do something or want something more than they do. And so understanding and listening to what they really do want and helping them get there builds that culture, builds trust, builds everything we've talked about today. So I think a lot of times when new teams start, they try to put everybody in the same box with the same goals and the same expectations. And not everybody has that same ability or capacity. So I think that's my biggest lesson learned.
Or sorry, Tom, biggest lesson learned.
I think for me, it's really don't be afraid to screw things up, right? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable, right? Like it's not only from a leadership standpoint, but one of the biggest pieces that we have had as part of our culture is we encourage people on our team to screw things up, to mess it up, because on the other side of that is where you learn. On the other side of that is where you grow. On the other side of that is where you learn how to overcome. So So for us, me personally, as a leader, is I'm not ever afraid to take chances and to make mistakes and to learn from those mistakes and to grow from those mistakes and to publicly take accountability when those mistakes are made. But more importantly for us, it's encouraging that from our people. So many people are paralyzed by the fear of the unknown. So many people are paralyzed by their own comfort zone, right? Like even if you're not okay, or if you're not happy with your results, most people stay within their own comfort zone because at least they know what to expect there, right? So we just encourage everybody on our team and from the top down, from leadership, is to make mistakes, to get out there, to take more reps, to make more calls, to screw up a phone call, to not know what you're going to say, and to then really come from a standpoint of what can I do better next time? What could I have done better, right? Like how can I get better next time? Because if you come from that standpoint, the sky's really the limit, right? Because you're not afraid. You're not afraid to slip up. You know you're going to learn, and then that's one less mistake you're going to make in the future, right? So I think for us, it's not being afraid to screw up. We have a little bit of a more provocative terminology for that here in the office, to not F things up, but we'll keep it PG here on this call. But we encourage it, and I think it really, 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 really allows people to grow beyond anything they ever imagined once they can let the guard down and be vulnerable.
Love it. So they get to make their own mistakes. Let's go to you, Jose. What's the leadership lesson that you've learned?
This is kind of tough. I've been in real estate since I was 18. So, this is kind of all that I've done for so long. The biggest thing is to humble yourself and realize that, when you deal with so many different personalities, so many different peoples with different goals from different backgrounds, it's really important that everyone you talk to, you don't have a predisposition as far as your mindset is about that individual. So what I try to do is I try to learn, kind of go a little deeper and find out more about that individual. And I try to always put myself in their shoes and think about what they need, what they want, what they're struggling with. And I try to find it within myself to provide them a service that they can appreciate, or they can kind of see things from my viewpoint, but as long as I speak to it in their language that they can understand. And, it's very, very difficult, especially when you deal with so many people. So I've kind of grown as a person to kind of become a chameleon, and I can deal with any type of personality that comes in the room. And I kind of always want to sit in their chair, in their shoes, and kind of look at the world from their viewpoint and see if there's any possible way that I can help them as an individual, help them with their business. And that's possibly the most difficult thing in our position, because we lead our own lives, and we have our own problems and our own struggles, and to kind of turn that off and to try and help different people wherever they may be coming from is the biggest challenge for what I do, or I'm sure any of the panelists have to deal with. But the thing is, once you find out who you're working with and what kind of person they are, and then you can see them grow in front of you, and you can see them really start to have a business in real estate where they can earn an income and provide for their families, and walk away from a typical job where they have a boss or they have to clock in and clock out. When they can kind of create that for themselves, it makes the job 100% totally worth it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Love it. All right. Is this working?
Yep.
Did my mic just cut out?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Let's do this. Let's actually, oh, there we go. Let's go around the horn. I'm going to hit this button really quickly. We heard from each of you, right? Everyone already answered this one. I'm going to go around the horn, and I want to hear from everyone here. So let's just hit this button right now. You're going to get whisked into a breakout room. All you got to do is hit join. And I'm going to just let everyone go around the horn for just like a minute or two each, say who you are and what you do, and then what the biggest leadership lesson you've learned is, or the four of you that already went, you could maybe share a recruiting or team building lesson. But I want to go around, and then I'm going to ask you guys one last question after that, but I want everyone to kind of connect. So let's hit this button really quickly. Let's see. We're going to drop you into 25 rooms. All right, I'm going to drop you guys into some rooms right now. In 1 second, you're going to whisk it away, and I'm going to let you guys go around the horn and just share what your best leadership lesson that you've learned is, and first off, who you are and what you do. So let's do that right now. I'm going to hit this button. You should get whisked away. All you got to do is hit join, and then turn your mic and your camera off because you'll all be able to see each other. So right now, hit join. If you're seeing it, it should pop up on your screen, and that will take you to a breakout room with a randomly assigned group of people. It could be some of our advertising partners, or it could be some of the top agents, but there's some of the best and brightest minds in Orlando real estate that you might as well meet. So if you're still watching me, you should hit join because there's already been an invite on your screen. And then you're going to go around the horn and just take a minute to share who you are and what you have learned. All right, if you're watching me right now, make sure you hit join. You were invited to a breakout room. It should be popped up on your screen. So if you're watching me right now, Jeff, you should have gotten one. You should be getting one right now. Oh, there you go. Luis, I'm going to move you to another room. There we go. Everybody, Mike Holzer, check your screen. There should be a join button right there. There should be a join button right there. And you should be able to jump in to a breakout room right now. So if you have not hit join, you should be able to jump into a breakout, and you're going to go around the horn, share who you are and what the best leadership lesson you have learned is. All right. So if you're watching me right now live on Facebook, or if you're in Zoom, you're going to want to join one of these breakout rooms. It should be on your screen. If you're watching this on Facebook, sorry, you can't see the breakout rooms. But right now, everyone's broken up into about 20 different groups of 4 or 5 people, or 24 different groups. But anyway, they're all sharing their best leadership lesson and who they are. So they're all going to meet each other. And we're going to bring it all back to the main session in just a second. So if you're watching this right now, then you're going to want to join a group. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can't really join a group. So I apologize. But we are still in the breakout sessions. I'm going to hop around, make sure they're doing well. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, you guys should be starting to get brought back to the main room. There's 52 seconds and counting, 47, 46, 45. Thank you for jumping back in with us. You feel free to turn your mic off if you want to share. So it's all, we're all bringing you back. Everyone's coming back right now. The breakout's close in 30 seconds, and then we're going to go around the horn and hear from some of you guys what your best leadership lesson that you learned or what you got out of your group. So either your best leadership lesson you shared or the best leadership lesson you learned. We're going to spotlight you guys in just a few seconds. All right, everyone should be coming back now. The breakouts are ending. Come on back 1 second and you're all brought back in. You're all back. Hello, everybody. So let's go around the horn real quickly and let's get some of your best responses, your best leadership lessons that you learned. Let's go. Susan, are you there? I see you're right next to me, so I'm going to unmute you if that's cool. Susan, you're a leader. You run a pretty large team. What's your best leadership lesson that you either learned from your breakout or that you've learned from leadership?
Well, I think a lot of things that everybody said were very relevant, but for all of us, I think the thing we have in common is that people and profit are equally important. We can't sacrifice one for the other. So pre-coronavirus, post-coronavirus, during coronavirus, that really working hard to manage our numbers, manage our expenses, continue to keep business flowing in, but caring about people extremely. So I think culture, I loved what Jenny said about culture just doesn't start. It's a continued constant, because guess what? Our lives are changing constantly. So I may show somebody yesterday I care about them, but they may have a crisis tomorrow and I need to care about them in the crisis. So paying attention to people every single day, taking the time. And these sound like buzzwords, Aaron, but they're not. Like being engaged, really stopping. Like my kids were just here and they looked at me and said, "You're not really listening." And I'm like, you're right. I have to listen. So I think being engaged, caring about people immensely, but remembering that we are running a business and we have to keep running our businesses also. So that's.
Love it. Love it. Hey, Veronica, you had shared some good stuff. Oh, whoops. I just accidentally booted her. Let's go to Jeff Velez has something he wanted to share. I'm going to spotlight you, Jeff. You're still muted. I'm unmuting you now. You should be good now.
Hey,
your best
everyone.
leadership lesson.
Yeah. So I shared this in my group, and it's something that I've learned early in my leadership career is if you give your people the latitude to keep themselves together personally, they will perform better for you professionally, in a respectful kind of way. So, we have families, we have kids, we toggle between this business is crazy, right? You're talking about, hey, someone, tell your spouse, hey, I get a chicken from Publix, and then you're on the phone because you had home inspection going sideways, and you toggle back and forth. But if you're a time bandit as a leader and you just want to try and you want your people to be accountable, but you don't want them to be accountable where they feel like you're micromanaging them, right? So if they can keep themselves together personally, especially in an environment like this where kids are being homeschooled and there's pets and you've got all this stuff going on, but you're trying to keep your business together, give them that latitude to keep them sane personally, and they will appreciate it and perform for you professionally better.
Love it. Let's go to Peter Liu. Peter, what's your best leadership lesson you've learned running a team?
Hey, Aaron, or learn today or learn overall?
Either one. You had said you had something to share, so let's hear it.
Well, I think what Tom did on the chief happiness officer part is important. Like, I don't have that. So I do know that as a team leader, I run fast, and sometimes I'm too fast and don't give enough credit to my agents or my admin team. So I think that's where I'm going to look for with everybody else is doing is getting a position with somebody that is controlling the team to make sure the culture is better. Because that is important. A lot of things, agents are in the business for the money, but if they work for the right person, I think they stay longer, the longevity of them and keeping them for a long period of time. So that's what one of my biggest nuggets today that I learned was, let's figure out how to keep the team happy and the agents and the admin staff. So that's what I took away from today.
Love it. Hey, Peter's going to be on the cover of the next edition of Orlando Real Producers that we are revising right now and sending to the printer this week. So I just thought I'd share that. First ever rising star to make it from rising star to the cover. So if you're at home and you want to hit the little clap button, show them some props. So thanks, Peter. Let's go to you, Vic. Vic has something to share. Your best leadership lesson from building a team or building culture. Let me unmute you. You should be good, Vic. Go ahead.
So, Beth Gravilla, talent development with Keller Williams, she had said, make sure you're not the smartest person in the room. And I think that's great advice. As you're going through this and you're starting to interview people, you're starting to add talent to your team, consider that. Scott Fosgate with FBC Mortgage, basically the same thing. Surround yourself by people, find people that are smarter than you, that are better than you, that are talented, because if they want to work with you, you should be those are the people that you should be attracting to your team. And those are the people that you should want to surround yourself with. So when we come out of this in the coming months, you've got the strongest foundation of talent available. So that was a great breakout session.
Awesome. Who else has something to share? Just raise your hand physically, like on the camera, or just type into the box and I will call on you. I'm going to scroll through here. Sean has something to share. I'm going to call on you now. Sean, go for it. I think you're muted.
Yeah. Well, I just had a realization when I went into the little breakout room. One of the hardest realization I had early on when I started the company is that anytime there was an error or a mistake made, it ultimately fell on me as the leader for not having the best processes in place. So once I stopped blaming anybody for any mistake or error and I started holding myself accountable, it really made me, shift the responsibility and realize that it is a process or something that was lacking on my end, and I shouldn't hold anybody else accountable for something I didn't have in place completely.
Love it. Anyone else have a leadership lesson you learned today or a leadership lesson you want to share? Just raise your hand. Elias, I will call. Hold on one second, bro. Let me spotlight you and unmute you. Elias, go ahead.
Guys, thank you so much. I learned so much today. My head is just lighting up. I heard three things today that were just absolutely awesome. Leaders create an environment that is hostile towards complacency. It's like setting that standard. And, I learned also too that, you can let go of control, but you don't deviate from your core values and what makes that culture and environment great for your customer and your agents. And also a servicing heart. I hadn't heard anyone really say that. I thought that was awesome. Having that in part of your culture, that your people care about the people that you're servicing. And also the person leading from the front is leading with that empathy and cares about their agents and giving them that type of respect and care and acknowledgement, I thought was just awesome. Thank you so much, everybody that contributed today.
Love it. Love it. Who else wants to share? If you want to share, just raise your hand what you got out of today, and I will unmute and call on you. Jody, 1 second. I'll spotlight you, and then let's try to unmute you.
I'm unmuted.
You know how to...
Yeah,
there you go.
gotcha.
Go ahead, Jody.
So something I just learned today, and thank you for the breakout session. It was amazing. That almost like secret leaders. So in times of crisis, leaders rise to the top. So maybe we don't even know within our organizations, who the leaders were, and maybe they don't even have the title of leaders. But, in things like this that we're all going through together, I think Emily just posted something really good in the chat too. Leaders really shine when they need to. So I think something that I've learned through all of this is, people on our team that, just because you don't have a title of being a leader doesn't mean that you're not. Really open your eyes to your team and who's really shining through at this time and who's really stepping up and, coming with the creativity. And we're all leaders at the end of the day, but really rising to the top right now. You can see the leaders within your organization.
All right. I love it. I am trying to call on you, Carolyn Flesh, but it will not. Let's see. Are you unmuted, Carolyn? What was your question?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see something around you. I don't know what's going on, but go for it.
Okay. Our great breakout session was pretty good. The number one thing, I have a new team of 7, so we're trying to find our way, but care for your team members like you would care for your family, and have fun and make fun. I love the chief happiness officer. I've always been saying if you can't have fun with what you do, then you need to reevaluate and maybe pour some fun into your group, or maybe you need to find something else if you're not having fun. So I think if people are happy to be part of the team and it's always pleasurable, I think that's one good way to build your culture.
That's awesome. Hey, Emily shared some good stuff. Emily, can I unmute you and have you actually share this with the group? Is that cool? I've got you spotlighted now. Go for it, Emily. Tell
Hi,
everyone what
everybody.
you were sharing, because you are, as Jenny said, the heart of their culture at the Weimer Group Realty. So
No,
tell
I'm
us
just
what insight you shared with the group.
one very small part of the culture of 50 something of us. But I think the heart of what I shared was that you do not have to have the title of leader to be a really great one. You have a lot of power no matter what seat you sit in, no matter what you're doing. I mean, we teach our kids this, we teach our coworkers that these are the ways that we try to act and model, even like within our own family. But you don't have the title, you have to have the title of leader. So just go be a good one, go model excellence, go model going the extra mile, model doing, going above and beyond. And as a leader, if you're doing those things, it's gonna teach the people around you that that's the expectation. And then you're watching for that and rewarding that and thanking people for doing that when they do it. And then when that happens, they wanna do it more. And then when it starts happening on that second tier level, to me, that's the power. Like the culture is really truly built in an organization in the undercurrent. It's expected from the leader. Like teammates, people that work for you expect you as a leader to lead well and have great culture and be this, icon, so to speak, or a pillar. But when it starts happening in the undercurrent, that I call it magic, but like that is where the magic, that's where the gold starts coming about. And that's when you start to see an organization actually change shape, because it's not just you and it's not around your feet, it's around the feet of every single person in the organization now. And it's getting carried and moved and pulled into ways that you could have never put it in that space as just one person. So no matter what seat you're sitting in, you have a lot of power to influence that piece that you're a part of.
Love it. I love it. Anyone else want to share something? I'll scroll through. If you want to share, just raise your hand real quick. I'll get a few more answers and then we'll wrap this thing up. Anyone else want to share something that you learned about leadership, about culture today, or in general from running your organization? Going once. Raise your hand if you do. Going twice. Oh, Meredith, 1 second. Let me spotlight you. Go ahead. Oh, wait, let me unmute you.
Hi, everybody. A couple of things. First, just like all the leaders were saying, I think kindness, empathy, understanding, and support all come into play with everybody, no matter what level they're on. Another great takeaway is flexibility. You kind of we've had to adapt so many of the things that we're doing and come up with creative new solutions to be able to help people. I work for the closing agent title insurance company, and we've found really creative ways to be able to close every deal on time, every time. And whether it's zigging and zagging, going out to people's homes or having, power of attorneys signed and doing things remotely, doing the remote online notarization, sanitizing the office with medical grade wipes and completely still allowing traditional closings to happen. We've just zigged and zagged, and a lot of what, we kind of fill in the blanks. And so I think being flexible to fill in, plug the holes, and still strive to have the best possible outcome is hugely important.
All right, I'll take one more answer and then I'll let some people hang on for those of you that do want to hang out, but I'll let the people that have to get to somewhere get there. So let's go to you. Heather Hurry has been holding something in that she wants to share with the group. Heather, let me unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Heather.
Hey guys, I just wanted to share with you what our group said, and I thought it was super powerful. And I think it's so simple as it relates to leadership, and it is listening, asking questions, and being a team player. And I think no matter what role you're in as it relates to leadership or part of the team, if you're not listening and you're not asking questions and you're not a team player, you won't rise. And the encouraging part behind that is the listening part leads to questions, and the question parts leads to team playing. And this person also mentioned that being selfless, which I've heard all morning long, having a servant heart, extending grace, being compassionate, having empathy. It all goes into so much about what a leader is combined, the ingredients behind sustaining leadership. And another gentleman said at the very end, I learned to hire slow, but fire fast. So we had some really good nuggets today, and I just wanted to share them. And it was such a pleasure, Erin. I got a lot out of the day myself, personally and professionally. It was great to see everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to wrap this thing up if no one else has anything to share. Anyone else, raise your hand. If you do, I'll give you one more chance if you want to jump in. George, I see you smiling at us. You have anything you want to share? You run a great team. All right. Oh, whoops. I accidentally went to you. Let's cancel that. All right.
Okay.
Let's, whoop. Go for it.
Okay. No, I'm totally impressed by this group. It's actually inspired me thinking about, now that I do have a good team, thinking about kind of going the next level and expanding our business, I can see the picture more. I haven't, for whatever reason, looked at myself as a leader as much as just kind of providing the service to my customers and having this team. But in this last year, my team has done really awesome, and I can see that there's room for me to even step back more, but with Ron's help, be the entrepreneur and creating business, even in this market. It really inspired me a lot, this whole networking and being part of this masterclass and the top 500. So
awesome. Thank you.
And I also like, because especially being, we're in Sola Vida, so we just sell in the 55 plus community. And in the future, we'll be also selling in another community in Sarasota. And having this opportunity, not having to drive to Orlando, has been real beneficial for me. So I kind of hope this stays up afterwards too, because I can be a part of more of these kind of events.
Yeah, we'll have to keep doing something virtually. Hey, Abby, I see you there. Do you want to share something about how you keep your team going at such a high level? Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. There you are.
Just for us, it's keeping the humor going, keeping some of the things that we always do consistent with what we're already doing. Like we still have our daily team meetings. And I really love Jenny's sign. It's just fantastic, and want to implement a lot more because it's hard for us at the top to always keep our spirits with everything going on and all the fires we're putting out. So it's helpful to have these things to bring us up and then, spread that out to our team as well. So appreciate it. And I would love it if you could keep a Zoom feature going for future lunch and learns and, all these. It's a great option.
Hey, can you guys do me one quick favor? Those of you that are still here, actually 2 quick favors. Drop in the chat box if you want to see more of these Zoom masterclass type sessions or Zoom town halls, just put yes. And if you want to see Zoom happy hours, like something like this where we put you together, just type happy hour in the box. So just type yes if you want to see more events, and happy hour if you think that would be a cool one, because I have this weird feeling that if we did this at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, that we could get a lot of you together and have a lot of you mix and mingle and network. My plan is for real producers, I'll just let the cat out of the bag, to start doing this at least twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, no matter what's going on in the environment, just to bring more people together, break you guys out and have you meet each other and let you do it from wherever, whether it is in Sarasota or whether it's here locally. So, I'd also love to be able to bring some of our speakers. We have a lot of phenomenal speakers around the country that when it comes to masterclass, flying them in is sometimes difficult, but bringing them onto a Zoom, letting some of the best coaches, speakers, trainers in the industry speak to you guys would really be beneficial. But yeah, let us know what you thought of this. Let us know if you want to do more of these, and type happy hour in the box if you want to do happy hour. Anyone else has something you wanted to share before we break this up? Raise your hand if so, because otherwise I'm going to end this thing right now. One more chance. Anyone else got something to share? A big nugget, a takeaway, anything else you got out of this? Well, make sure you thank our panelists. You can't hear everyone clapping, but everyone give a quick round of applause to our panelists. Maybe we can see them all clapping, so you can see them all clapping for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so next Masterclass Orlando session will be, let me give you the date. It'll be on May 21st. I have no clue where it will be or whether it will be on Zoom. I guess we'll still find out, but it will. I don't even want to say it'll probably be on Zoom. It might be on Zoom. It might be at Harry Buffalo. We have no idea. But for those of you that want to donate to Harry Buffalo, go to masterclassorlando.com. There's a donation tab to hook their staff up. If you're feeling generous today or you got something out of this and you want to throw a couple bucks to the staff so that they can pretend that we came and ordered a lot of food today, that would probably make them really happy. But thank you guys all for joining. Any of you that want to hang out and chat with each other, feel free to stay on here. I'm going to end the recording on Facebook, but I'm not going to kick you guys out of the group. So if anyone wants to stay